Hello and welcome everybody to this special edition of Rugby Chat. Super Rugby teams have been announced. It's all on now for 2025 and let's might as well just jump straight into it and bring on the all-star crew who are going to dissect these teams. First up, hello Mike, how are you?
And bring on the go Rams, how you going, mate? Yep, all good here. No more Heidi Mai from a Bobby Dazzler Day here in Ashburton, and then IRT New Zealand Cup Day, and we've just witnessed probably one of the I just can't put it into words, probably one of the best Dominions I've ever seen. It's just been taken out by Just Believe for Greg Sugars and Jess Tubbs, and he to put it frankly, he annihilated them.
Yep. Well, I mean, it was good. I mean, I went for an outsider and threw my money away, but hopefully get that money back from the TAB. But what we do have to welcome is the roadie from Rocket FM, who's simulcasting this on his little radio show down there at Port Chalmers.
Making a
are
hash
you
of
with
it
us
too.
there?
Yeah, making a hash of it too. For some reason, you kicked me out of the room for a while. I'm not sure what happened. Well, the computer did, and so I had nothing on air, but I'm pretty sure we're going out on FM now. So if I disappear for a bit, it's because I'm listening to you on FM.
Oh, yeah. No, that's all good. So just a couple of, what do you call them? Housekeeping things to go. You can follow us here on Facebook or on the YouTube channel. YouTube, of course, YouTube at Rugbyheartland. And also, as you'll notice, we are having a beer. And it's been brought to my attention that we've been having a beer. So, public notice, we like to have a beer or two. But remember to drink responsibly, because every country, because we are global, every country has their own rules. Abide by those rules and just drink in moderation. But also, you have some sad announcement there, Mike. Would you like to take over?
Yeah, I'd just like to do a shout out to Woody and Rugby Club. One of their team members, Brock Wilson, sadly passed away following a medical event last week before a rugby game. So shout out to them, and hopefully they're all doing all right.
Yeah, it's always sad to see, and hopefully the club can gather around the whānau and offer all that support, etc. Because hey, at the end of the day, we're all just one big rugby family enjoying stuff. If you have any questions watching the show, throw them into the comments, whether it be on the YouTube or on the Facebook. I did see a thing come up before saying there was an issue with Facebook, so it might just come up saying Facebook. But we'll see your comments because, hey, should we just jump straight into it? Because we've got a few teams to get into here. And I suppose the first one we would need to look at is we'll bring up the Moana Pacifica team. So the Savia boys are back together, Artie and Julian. And Jackson Garden Bishop has come back from France playing for Brive. What do you think of this team, boys?
Oh, yeah, it's not a bad side, is it? With you got the Savia boys together. Yeah, no, I'm excited to see what these guys can come up with this season.
Yeah, well, the other thing is too, they have signed also Solomone Marlowe. Excuse our French. I'm not very good at pronunciations. But anyhow, from the Chiefs, he had a brief stint in a competition called the NRL. So they've brought him back. And I mean, they've got not a bad pack, I suppose. But it's sort of like, are the Savia boys, are they going to do any, what's the word I'm looking for here? Winger, roadie. If you can, he's gone. He's disappeared. He's disconnected from us at the moment, so that's okay. I don't know. I mean, I look at this team. They've got a couple of new coaches there. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, obviously you got the Anisi brothers there. They're they are match winners, but yeah, no, it's going to be good to see how they go this year. They were a bit disappointing last year, to be fair. I don't see Christian Lafano in that mix, but that's right. You've got another couple of people there that could step up and take that
Yeah,
job on.
I think Leofano has actually finished up for what do you call it? Has retired after a long and illustrious career. But I mean, because we do have a lot of people watching us who are interested in these other squads outside of New Zealand, we do have the Fiji Endura as well. 33 of these guys, 33 of the 41 players announced are from the Flying Fijians, who, of course, beat the Welsh in the weekend. This has been, to me, the winner in Super Rugby, because if you look at the results the Fijians have had over the last 12 months, they beat England at Twickenham. They've now gone and beaten Wales and Cardiff. And all these guys playing pretty much 12 months of the year around, aren't they? If it's not with the Endura, it's with the Flying Fijians. Some big names there. I'm not even going to attempt them, to tell you the truth, because I don't want to embarrass myself. But you can see the names. Your thoughts, playoff material?
Yeah. Well, the first name I looked for when this squad came out was Asipo Masi, who, if he's in any sort of form than what he was last year, scoring 3 tries in a game, multiple, I think he might have been even the leading try scorer at one point. But yeah, if he's anywhere near his form of last year, he's going to be hard to contain, and we know he's got the speed and he's got the power to break advantage lines. So I'm really excited about the squad. I think there's a lot of good players there coming back from last year. Obviously, they'll be coming off the Flying Fijian campaign, but that won't worry them. Yeah,
no, it won't. They've got plenty of time. They can have a bit of carver over Christmas and get back into training. We've got the roadie back on here.
Yeah, I'm around. I'll just can you turn your mic up a little bit or not, Rabs?
My mic's on full black.
Oh, okay. You might need to get closer to it because you're not great on air. Mike's great. Mike's fantastic on air here on FM, but you're pretty quiet anyway. It's not a bad looking squad. I see. Watch that Caleb Muntz play for Fiji there again on the weekend. He looks pretty good actually. That first 5. I see there's a couple of names there from the Australian team that's now defunct as well.
No, Caleb Muntz had it blind, and we were just talking about before you come on, Winger, about Asipo Masi. He was the first fellow I looked for when the squad was named, and he's probably one of the best inside centres running around at the moment. Last year he was just unstoppable.
He certainly was. There's a few good Islander players here, and it's just unfortunate it took them so long to get a couple of these Islander teams into the Super Rugby, because they should be there instead of the couple of Australian ones. But that's a debate for another time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not too sold on Western Force yet, but that's a conversation for another time.
I like the Western Force. Is that better?
A little bit, but they're just a team that's like stacked again, full of they're just trying to fill it up with has-beens and leagueies to try and make it look like they need more than 3 teams, right? They don't. The Aussies were always strong when they had 3 teams. This obsession of we need more than 3 teams is ridiculous, I reckon. Obviously they got Nick White there, who's probably coming to the end of his career, and Darcy Swain. Well, we all know what he's either good or he's bad. It just depends on the day, I guess. They just move him around. It's ridiculous.
Well, thankfully you've got me all out of kilter now, because you jumped straight over to the Western Force. So I thought I'd better bring it up. If we do look at their team there, they got Isaac Fines. He's he's been around for a while. I think he's played for the Brumbies off the top of my head. They're saying they've got 12 active Wallabies. I mean, after that win against the English in the weekend, it goes a long way to help promote the British Lions tour next year. Especially when you see a really awesome meme come out with 2 English supporters asking travel agent, where is a good place in the world go on holiday, and she replies, well, you can't beat Australia. So yeah, I thought that was a goodie.
While we're talking about that, just I know we're digressing, but you do have to wonder what the hell's going on with the Northern Hemisphere, because it was only 18 months ago where they were beating us and they looked really powerful, and Australia, let's be honest, hasn't had a great season down here.
No, they haven't.
And they knocked the Poms over. I mean, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because I mean, we know the Western Force is there because they have a millionaire backer, right, or a billionaire backer. But I mean, I do like the Force being there because, I mean, it does open up that whole timeline thing. We're not just watching the east coast of Australia all the time. We do get those late games at midnight. And, you know, I can't remember his name now off the top of my head, but, you know, you had the Wellington guy there. Oh, God, what was his name? Thrush, yeah. You know.
Oh, yeah, Jeremy Thrush, yeah.
Yeah, so Jeremy Thrush got another 5 years, you know, playing Super Rugby there over at Perth. But, you know, if you look at the team, I'm guessing Henry and Tom Robinson are, what do you call them? Brothers. Looking
Harry
at the
Potter.
names there.
It's Harry Potter.
But then, you know, you look at Reed Prinsep. He's from your neck of the woods, isn't he?
Yeah.
Not.
From
the Crusaders. Yeah, I mean, they have picked up the people that weren't needed. I see, just quickly going through, I can't even think of his. I should have done a bit of research on this, but these teams have only come out today.
But see, that's my point, Rebs. They just scratch pickup teams every year. And you know, as Mike said, there's someone that was playing for one of the other teams is playing there. They just rotate their good players around, and there's 12 or 13 really good players in each team, and then they pad it out with has-beens or pickups from overseas. In reality, they'd have been better off to keep the Argentine or Japanese team and drop the Force and have 3 strong Australian sides. But we keep bending over to these Aussies and giving them their extra bloody teams.
Oh yeah, totally. And the other thing is too, as I said, I am a fan of the Force. I'm happy. I am happy they got rid of Melbourne. But you know, the thing is now that it's got to, you know, the Force threw in some good performances last season, but it will be interesting to see how they, you know, have to regroup now with a whole new squad players. I mean, they do have Harry Potter, so maybe they can magically weave something together. But see,
that's the point. They had a good squad last year, and then the squad changes. They never keep the same squad because it's all about this Aussie just keep making sure they have a team instead of saying, look, we actually don't have the players. Let's just have 3 really good teams. They insist on having this other team.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see where I think his name was Rob Leota, the Rebels skipper. I wonder if he's been picked up this year for any of these teams.
True.
Unsure. No, literally unsure on that one. But anywho's, where are we at? So if I just quickly take that off.
Yeah.
And we might as well carry on with the Aussies. See, we're talking about the Aussies. So now we've got the Brumbies. So the thing I guess me is, how many more seasons has Alan Alatoa got playing? Every year, I believe it's meant to be his last year, but
he must be golden oldie by now, is he?
Well, I don't know, but I mean, you know, you look at the squad here the Brumbies got. Now, this is my bogey team out of all the teams in Super Rugby. Have always been my bogey team with my mighty Hurricanes. But, I mean, I look at some of these names here. I mean, James Slipper. I mean, really?
He's an old man. He's an old man as well.
Well, he's now the most capped Super Rugby player in Australia. I I thought that he would have got that and gone away. Tuani Tualima, where's he from? You know, again, there is some names here that will jump out at most people. But
if you look at the squad, though, they've pretty much kept the same squad, almost the core of their squad together, the Brumbies. They're not like Queensland and New South Wales that seem to get raped and pillaged every year to fill up the other team. These guys kept the core of their team together.
Yeah, no, they have. They've got obviously Corey Toole there and Rob Bellatini. But yeah, it looks like it's very similar to last year. But James Slipper, I think he's clocked up 130 odd games or something, hasn't he, for Aussie?
Yeah, I think it's 135 odd. But I see Ollie Sapsford from the Hawke's Bay. He's back in the fold there again. Noah Lucio, I mean, he had a good first season, then he got sort of found out last year, and then this season just passed. He sort of came back into his own a little bit more. I definitely have Brumbies only because it's the Brumbies. I still have to have them in this. I don't even want to start with the way they got the finals formats now for this year, but I think they will be in the finals. You've got to be in the top 6 or top 12 or something.
I'll tell you something, boys. I've got two names written down here that I believe will be chomping at Noah's heels in the next 2 years, and we'll get to them when we get to the team.
Oh, so they're going to be brought by another squad. So if we go to New South Wales, I'm guessing.
Yep. One of them's in here, I think.
Okay, so we got Andrew Callaway, Tupou's back in again, and new recruit Suali. He's the Australian rugby league player who played amazingly well in his first game of rugby union, even though he has played rugby union before.
Yeah, well, there's a certain Tana Edmed. That's one of them.
Yeah, and there's your Rob Leota too there, Mike. I see he's been picked up by New South Wales.
Obviously we've seen Tane over here playing for the North Harbour this year, and I think he had a blinder. I think his game places, and he's one of those people that he's obviously a very skilled fly half, and he's got potential as far as I'm concerned.
Yep, no, I agree with you there. He certainly looked the best of the Aussie first fives. It won't be long, I wouldn't think, before Schmidt gets him in there shortly.
Yep.
Oh,
there's got to be better options. Well, I mean, who's Smith's backup fly half if Noah can't play? I don't
know. His name was Bruce.
Bruce
the Goose.
But anyhow, so I mean, again, the Waratahs. To me, when the Waratahs are weak, the Aussies are weak, right? They're the classic original Aussie team, but to me, they just don't know. I mean, they're the opposite of the Crusaders, even though the Crusaders haven't been winning. But I mean, they're the opposite. They've just completely forgotten how to win a game.
Well, I'm going to take you back to last year when the Fiji and Drua Pup played these guys, and it went to extra time. And I think there was a drop goal. Tana Edmed done a drop goal, and that came off the post. And then Fiji and Drua ran all the way back up the other field, and then sealed the win with a drop goal of their own. And that was probably one of the best games I've watched. But they are capable on their day, but it's going to be an interesting competition.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see the Waratahs do well, because the other thing is too. Then north of the border, you've got the what do you call them? The Queensland Reds, a team that should have a certain James O'Connor in it, but of course, as the Rhodey is going to see soon, he's going to be very disappointed, and we will give him an open mic for about half an hour talking about the Crusaders. But first off,
talking about the Aussie teams just quickly, and especially New South Wales, their biggest problem has always been their front rows. They've always sucked. They've never had decent front rows. That's where they've always come undone. They've always had great outside backs and midfields, loosies, and then they suck in the front row. I don't know why. Remember that big fat guy they had, Matt, someone who was when we beat them 96 something at Lancaster Park. I was at that game. He was as useless as tits on a ball. He was their number one loose end prop for a while. He was just I don't know.
The drop goal guy.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, what was his name? Matt something. Yeah.
Dunn? No. Matt.
No, I don't know what it was, but he was. But you know, it was because he was so big. He was meant to be good, and the first time he came up against a decent Kiwi front row, they annihilated him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my second name is within this squad, and it's Tom Liner.
Yep. I agree.
He's got beautiful bloodlines. Obviously, his dad was a outstanding fly half for Australia back in the day, and Fraser McWright. We need to watch him too. He's not a bad loose forward on his day.
Well, yeah, and Scott Robinson wasn't a bad rugby player either. Same with Tyler Umanga. But the thing is, I've kept a close eye on Liner, thinking, okay, as you pointed out, he's got the bloodlines. You know, you go through a stud book and for horses, and you look for champions. And that's how they found Far Lap. It went back about 20 generations, and there was a good horse before Far Lap. And then the trainer went through the same process again forever and never got another champion using the same process. I don't know. To me, I find Liner is just lacking something. I don't know if it's his size, his muscle, or something. But, you know, it's almost like they throw him on there and think he's going to be some sort of silver chalice who's going to Yahoo, you know, G the team up. I've not seen a lot from him. I mean,
give it time, Red.
Give it time. I know, but well, I mean, if they stay around like what's his face, James Slipper, that might be the time he needs. But I mean, I've always liked that Zane Nongor, the flanker. I think he's a flanker. But I've always enjoyed his play, like keeping an eye on him. You got Hodgman there. You got Harry Wilson, Liam Wright. He can. I think he's one of the fullbacks off the top of my head. But I don't know. I mean, it looks like they've invested in a few young players there. Les Kiss, the coach for the Reds. I think they will be. It will be an interesting side to see. And
I see one of your boys from Wellington, old Tumanga Allen, there in the team.
Yeah, well, he played there. When was it? Last year.
Yeah.
And so what's this show? Who does any of us know Xander Smith?
No.
Show us your muscles in old mate, laugh out loud. Okay,
It must
Xander.
It must be a spammer. You can block him.
Well, well, either that or he's one of my subscribers on OnlyFans. But anyhow, where are we at? Xander Smith, prop. Okay, very good. Is that who we were talking about before? So where are we at? So we've done the Aussies, we've done the Fijians. Okay, so to save mucking around, let's just get straight into the number one team in the land. And of course, that is nothing but the Hurricanes. I can say that because it's my show and you can all get stuffed. So, Hurricanes. You look at this team, and one name that's not popping out of me is, and I thought he might have got a call up, was the fullback for Hawke's Bay. What was his name? Prethro or Protherby or something. I thought, I thought he had a magic season with the Hawke's Bay Magpies, but no, he's not there. And if we look at this whole squad, it's very hard to actually pick out any newbies here. You got Fihi, I'll just say Fihi, from Bay of Plenty. He's signed up. But pretty much it's rinse and repeat for the boys from the capital. Thoughts, gentlemen?
Will Tucker, wasn't he a Canterbury lock? I think he wasn't he?
Oh yeah, but he saw the light, Brody.
Oh, it's weird that. It's Karifi, yeah. I've watched him play for the New Zealand 15. Man, he's got to be close to the number 7 in the All Blacks, surely.
Yeah, well, he's been brought in. Sam Kane's been ruled out winger, so you'll be happy about that.
Yeah, I saw the fake injury they made up about him.
I think Duplessis Criffy's got a huge future. He's a very humble man. He doesn't say much, but I think he lets his actions on the field speak for himself.
I see that Riley Hohip is there as well. He was one of the ones that the Crusaders were using last year, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, they went through about 2 or 3 first fives, and the Hohipper was no good, and he showed up in the North Harbour as well.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's there now. He's your problem now. Billy Proctor, who my view is should be the centre instead of Ione. He just seems to be a bit more of a pure centre. He's able to distribute the ball. Ione just doesn't seem to want to pass the bloody ball. And when Proctor plays, that's why.
Yeah, I think Ioane's still. I think Ioane is still trying to get into Johnny Sexton's book.
Yeah, well, the other thing is too, though. You know, you've got to look at this 9-10 pairing we've got here with Roygaard and possibly Love, who can play anywhere pretty much in the back line there. But I tell you, it's to me it's looking good. I mean, they've still got that Englishman Brad Shields playing for them. They've got Tossie, who does play for Bay of Plenty. As well in the NPC, he's there. Jordi Villion.
I see they've stolen Pooney Boy.
Yeah, and you got Jordi Villion, whose old man used to play for the Hurricanes back in the day. But I mean, to me, I do look at this at the second row there. We've got Caleb Delaney, Jacob Devery, Devin Flanders. It's just. There's going to be a lot of hope on Hurricane fans this year that they won't be.
Your Lucy's look pretty good though. Karifi, Peter Larkai, and Lauaki. That's a pretty good loose forward trio. Yeah,
and then throw in there Braden Iosi, Riley Higgins, who's an awesome centre. And stuff like that. So, and of course, then you got the rampaging bull of Asafa Umua, who's just stood out on the All Black tour of the Northern Hemisphere for me. To come in early against the who did they play? Japan? No, not Japan. The English. And then play 79 minutes against the Irish. I think he's come of age on this tour, and so. You look at that and you can pretty much put out an All Black 15 out of that team.
Oh, for sure. And a lot of, it's what I was saying, there's a lot of those guys here that, for whatever reason and whatever conspiracy I might come up with, they should be in the All Blacks.
I think Amua went good. I think he's on his way to cementing himself in that squad, to be fair.
So the other thing is now, though, I'll bring up this team because I'm busting for a smoke, and I know if I just put this up and go like this, I can walk away for 5 minutes and just let Winger go for it. Away with you, young man! Give us your report on your Crusaders.
Well, first of all, I'd like to know where James White and Isaac Hutchison are. They're not on any other Super Rugby team. Hutchison played really well at fullback. White seemed to be the next cab off the rank in the Canterbury First Five factory, but it seems like they've ignored the Canterbury First Five factory and gone out of town. I'm not sure what's going on there. It's the second year in a row they don't seemingly have a homegrown First Five, which is unusual. They didn't even look at South Canterbury or Mid Canterbury. Surely there's somebody around. We have to go with Rihanna and how old's the Aussie guy now? He must be bloody pushing 40.
I can't see Tyson Bellworthy in there either. He played for Canterbury last year, and he was one of our loan players that was drafted into the Mid Canterbury squad, but he only managed to play a couple of games before they called him back. So I can't see his name either.
I mean, the basis of the good players are there. There's Hotham there and Havili and all that. But there's for me, it's not so much who's in the team; it's the omissions. You know? O'Connor was a great player in his day, but you're telling me that you've got a young guy playing out of Canterbury University for Canterbury, James White, who played pretty well at First Five and fullback in the NBC, and he can't find a place in the team, but we can bring James O'Connor in. I mean, that just I don't understand that. It doesn't sit right with me either. But I don't know. Obviously, Rob Penny's back in the fold this year for another go at it, but it'll be interesting to see how they go. But I can't understand because Penny, when you'll recall, Mike, when Penny coached Canterbury back before Robertson got the Crusaders, when we all thought Penny would get the Crusaders. Yep. He picked some good Canterbury teams and he ran them bloody well. And last year was a complete contrast to what he did. And I mean, as I said, some of the odd selections here just I don't know. I mean, I'm glad to see that Shell Floon guy there from Tasman. He's in. We've got some other names I don't know of, but the usual suspects: Dallas McLeod, Cullen Grace, Braden Emore. And then you just go and you bring in imported First Fives. I just don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on there. It's a bit. It looks like a fairly good squad, but I just don't. I'm not. Yeah, it's the omissions for me that are the worst. I just can't understand how. And I thought maybe they'd be in other teams. I mean, Punavai turned up in another team. That's all right. But Pohepi's not there. Nick Shearer, who was another one, he's not there either. They all play well for the NPC side. So okay, they've been omitted, and I would have thought, okay, maybe they're playing for the Highlanders or the Hurricanes. Not even there. So odd. Yeah.
Okay. My 5 cents. It's good though to see that the Crusaders have signed Wellington Lions halfback Kyle Preston. I believe he's the son of John Preston, who also had a. Did he ever play for the Crusaders?
Oh, I don't know. I think he was pre-Crusaders. I think he played the NPC. I don't think he played Crusaders. He might have been just before the Super Rugby, I think. I'm not sure.
Shit, we that old?
Yeah, I think so. he may. I'd have to. I've got the Crusaders book here. I should go and pull it out and have a look see if he did actually. But he I'll do it in a second. But he was certainly, if he did play for them, it wasn't much, and then he headed up your way. But yeah, I mean, it's a good strong team. But as I said, Rabs, to Mike, it's just the omissions that have me buggered. Especially that Isaac Hutchison. He played out of his skin at fullback.
Yeah, see, they got that. Yeah. See, they got Johnny McNichol in there, and I don't think he done much last year.
Nah, not really. He was injured most, wasn't he?
Yeah, and I can't see Willie Hines there either. I think he might have pulled the pin as well.
Well, he'd be close to it, wouldn't he? He must be pushing 40 now, surely.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, he only shaved his head so he didn't see his grey hair.
Yeah,
But,
whether or not that's a championship side, I guess it remains to be seen how they go. But yeah, I think First Five's going to be their issue again. I really do. Even with James O'Connor there, I mean, he's So
I mean, you've got 3 big players there on the photo image there. The thing that gets me is I love Ethan Blackadder. I love the way he plays. But there still has to be question marks around his fitness and injuries. can we see Ethan Blackadder play a whole season next year without playing in a pre-season warm-up and getting injured and missing the first 6 weeks?
Yeah, he's been a bit injury prone last year, and obviously going into the All Blacks campaign. But mate, they probably just need to manage it a bit better and just. I don't know, but when he's on his game and when he's fit and ready to go, he's one of the best loose forwards around, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
But you're right. He's very injury prone, and there's going to come a time when you've got to say, well, enough's enough, eh?
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, and the other question mark here on the Crusaders team is: will Tom Christie make his way into the All Blacks in 2025?
Well, I don't know what's going. I mean, he didn't even make the All Black 15, did he? So you got to say, someone doesn't like him somewhere. He might be the next Dwayne Monkley or Angus Gardner of his generation. Just doesn't get a go.
Yeah. Dwayne Monkley, shit, that's going back a while.
Well, yeah. You remember Monkley and Angus Gardner played at the same time, and they never made the All Blacks. And everyone's going, why not? I mean, Christie's his stats say he should be there, but obviously there's some issue that we don't know about.
And for the younger viewers, Angus Gardner is not we're not talking about the referee.
No,
it's
but
just one of those quirks in the world of rugby where we have two unusual names, Angus Gardner.
But
one was a player and one's a referee.
And Dom Gardner, that's in this squad, is the player's son, by the way. It's Angus Gardner's son.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So but anyway, do you think your boys have you got the squad to recapture that form? And the book you're talking about, is that Crusaders on book? Because I literally brought it last week at the warehouse on special for $10.
Yeah. I'm just going through it now to see if they don't have them in alphabetical order. They have them in order that they played. I'm just trying to see if Preston's in there, but I don't see him.
I think there was a biography at the back, isn't there?
Yeah, but it's not in order. It's not in alphabetical order. It's in
okay,
order
fair
they played.
enough.
Order they debuted, which is kind of hopeless.
Well, you can come back to us on that one.
Yeah,
I'm sure that will be okay.
Yeah.
So we'll have a look now at the mighty Chiefs from Hamilton and Bay of Plenty. All right. So first name that popped out of my head here was Caleb Trask. Someone did question it. I thought he had retired end of last season. I thought they had a farewell match for him.
Yeah, who's coaching this? Is Clayton McMillan coaching Rebs, or is it someone else?
No, I believe it's still Clayton McMillan.
Yeah, right. So he'll be back from All Blacks 15 to get straight into that, will he? Yeah, it's not a bad squad, like. And you'll probably agree with me, boys, but we can't take anything away from Clayton McMillan. He's got a pretty good CV, to be fair.
Totally. He'll be lining himself up for bigger honours in years to come. But you ain't going to get anything until after the World Cup, of course, and stuff like that, depending on how that goes. But looking at this team, Leroy Carter, he's going to make his debut off the sevens bench and come on as an outside back there. He had a good season there with Bay of Plenty. Fishy Saar, I'm not too sure exactly where he's showed up from. First fives, of course, you got your Damien McKenzie, Caleb Trask, and debutant and Josh Jacob, which is a look forward to the future because I'm sure, as Winger would or Rhodey would say, the Damien McKenzie will probably get one of his hairs out of place and get injured for 3 weeks. But I mean, it's going to be led by Luke Jacobson, very good player, got no problem there.
The one for me there's Brodie McAllister, the Canterbury hooker, appearing in the side there? I'm just trying to see who the hookers, who they brought in.
The hookers are Bradley Slater and Samasoni Takaaho. So you got the injured All Black, the playing for the All Blacks 15, and same with Brody. So they've pretty much got the next 3 cabs off the rank behind Cody Taylor and Asafa Umua. Which you could say, what a good position for New Zealand rugby to have a minimum of 6 top-ranked hookers in the world.
No, I think, I said before, Amua's, I think, his first line-out throw on the weekend wasn't the best, but his ability to be mobile around the field and get involved,
Yep.
Well, see, why do they need a hooker to throw? Why do they need a hooker to throw? There's nowhere in the rules that actually says the hooker has to throw.
No, it used to be the winger.
I remember the French halfback used to throw it in. And when I started playing as a kid, the wingers used to throw it in.
Now, did I watch a test match the other day? I'm sure I watched a test match somewhere the other day, and one of the backs came in and threw the ball in.
Yeah, well, Amua, if that's his weakness, if that's his only weakness, give it to someone else to throw in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah, and it's good to see in the halfbacks there, though, moving away from the fatties in the front row. Triple T's back. He's got another season in him at the Chiefs with All Black Cortez Ratama and Xavier Rowe. So that's an interesting sort of combination there, because you've got to look at who, the halfbacks pair up with the first 5s, and we've already mentioned Mackenzie Trask and Jacob. I don't know. What's your feelings on Cortez Ratama?
No, I think he got a hard time when they played the Irish. He was, obviously the Irish were coming in over the top and giving him absolute arseholes, and then Roygaard came on and steadied the ship. So what does that tell you?
Yeah, true. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's played 42 games now for the Chiefs, so he's experienced now there, which is interesting, because I've only just noticed the caps here, and they've got Jerome Brown, Malachi Raplin, Fidesar, Brody McAllister, and Leroy Carter as their debuts for the Chiefs, so that'll be interesting. The midfield, I mean, the thing is, you've got to give the Chiefs time here, right? Because they've got Anton Leonard-Brown, the oldest statesman on 120 caps. But you got Quinn Tupaia, Ramaki Pohepi, Daniel Rona, and Gideon Raplin, who's only had 2 or 3 games, but they've got quite a solid midfield too. And then when you look at their outside backs, all the word was that he was going to NRL, but I guess no one at the NRL actually wants him, and that's Sean Stevenson.
He probably looked at it and thought he was better off in Super Rugby. Probably got getting better money in Super Rugby, to be honest.
Yeah. I thought Daniel Ronick had a good season last year. He was probably one that flew under the radar a bit for me. But yeah. Sean Stevenson, he hasn't done much, has he? To be fair.
Yeah.
I think he's one of those overrated guys. To be fair, Mike, they talk him up, but you look at you look at the end of the 80 minutes game and you think, oh, okay, what's he really done? They do talk him up a lot. He doesn't do. He's one of those guys that the media puts up there, and at the end of the game you go, okay, really? Not that he's a bad player, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got people like Will Jordan running around fucking doing magical things. So, I didn't see if he's been signed as in the Crusaders squad, Rabs, or
who was that?
Will Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan's in the Crusaders.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I thought that Hutchison might have got in as well, but Jordan's.
Yeah, it'll be good to see. Yeah, it'll be good to see Will Jordan and Macca Springer play together again. I think they're a couple of exciting players.
Yeah. Well, the other one then is down your way there at Port Chalmers is the Highlanders. So
Yeah, it's a good looking. It's not. Again, they've got the base of the squad that they had last year. There's pretty much not too many changes there.
Oh yeah, here we go. Yep, okay. We've got Michael. Yeah, we've got Michael Manson from the Southland. I think he's probably one of the fastest. Inside backs, outside backs floating around at the moment, and
that's what they say. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've got that big fella from Tasman in there as well, Tama Nawai.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And hopefully he can get back. I think he was injured at the end of last year, but I've seen him walking around in a leg brace. So hopefully he can get fit again and show us what he's got.
The biggest problem for me with the Highlanders last year seemed to be their back line. It took them a while to get the midfield combination right. You know what I mean? They had a lot of good outside backs, and they kept in the midfield sort of. I don't know. They kept changing around, and also kept doing that same thing the Crusaders were doing. The midfield would rush up out of the line. You know, on defence they'd rush up and leave a big gap. For the Highlanders, the Crusaders never sorted it out, but the Highlanders did. They sort of steadied up their midfield and settled on regular players. But early on, they were rotating all the time, and it didn't really help them.
Yeah, well, and of course, you know, with this Highlanders team, you know, this is unfortunately the Western force of New Zealand rugby. You know, they do get the players that no one else wanted, and they've got 12 rookies. You know, with Josh Bartlett, Louis Nayeta, Sefo Kartau, Sione Vikani, Tikamaka Howden, Vivini Lasaka, Will Stoddard in the forwards, and then in the backs they got Caleb Tangatau, Finn Hurley, Josh Wainga, Michael Manson, as you mentioned, and Tane Robinson. So yeah, it would be interesting because isn't Jamie Joseph now the head coach?
Yeah,
and who didn't see that coming?
Yeah. Obviously, he's taken over from Clark Germany. I think Clark Germany was in charge last year, but it's it's good to see Jamie back. You know, obviously he's given a lot to Otago Rugby over the years, and it'll be good to see what he does this year. To be fair.
Well, yeah, it will be interesting too. And of course, on top of that, front and centre, we've got Ethan de Groot there. The question has to be asked: what did he do?
Yeah, he did something.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
Me and Rabs talking about this at length the other day on the phone. Winger, you know, normally people are only stood down for one game for breaching team standards or whatever, but unfortunately for Ethan, he got stood down for 2 games. So it'll be interesting to see what he's done because it hasn't been reported yet.
Okay, so I've got a series of words that I'll string together and see if it makes sense. So we've got Otago player, right? The group, Otago, prop, Murdoch.
How's that Robbie Williams song go? And all they saw was angels.
Well, I mean, what happened? Did he clock a security guard or something like his predecessor? I don't know.
I don't know. Good time to just throw up our public notice because we do like to have a beer or two. So remember, drink responsibly. Every country has their own rules. Abide by them and drink in moderation. I had to throw that up. And
don't forget, Rabs. Every union has their rules as well.
Oh yes, I understand that. But we
won't
go there.
That's all right, mate. The old saying, every dog has its day.
Yeah, that's true.
And we'll just leave it at that.
Well, yeah. So we will leave it at that. So we also have in this team, they've pulled in a couple of former Brumbies in that Kowtow and Fakana for their front rows. I mean, other than being gold and black, I'm also blue and gold. I really hope the Highlanders can meld this new squad together, because I mean, when you're looking at 30 odd players, you know, you're bringing in what, 30%, 40% all rookies for one team. But I'm sure Jamie Joseph will be looking at this going, okay, I could have stayed in Japan, but Eddie's got the job now. And
but he's got a core of last year's team there. It's not as bad as you think it is when you go through some of those names. Askett, Bell, Dunshay, Fakatava, Gilbert, De Groot, Haig, Sean Withy. There's a basis of the last. It's not like the last couple of years where they have had the new guys come in. They've got a core of a team there, and they might not do too bad actually when you look at some of those names. You know, Cam Miller at first five, he's a good player, and hopefully they stick with him. They had a bit of rotating there last year till they decided who it was. Hopefully they stick with him there, and they might go all right. Theoretically, looking at that team on paper, they should go all right.
Well, yeah, and of course you've got all black and white in Fabian Holland from the Netherlands.
Yeah.
How good's that, Your name's Fabian Holland and you're born in Holland.
I think he's got a big future ahead of him, that kid.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Oh, he's built like a brick shithouse.
There's some good players in that team, and if Joseph can get them together and the biggest thing is keep the consistency and stop rotating them and keep them injury free, they could go all right, this team.
Yeah. Well, they often have really good pre-seasons against the evil empire of the North, Canterbury, and so it'll be interesting to see. I think they're playing in Kirwi this year, are they? Oh no, yeah, it is, isn't it?
Of course, the problem with that is the Crusaders always play their wider training group in those games. They never start their bloody squad members, and then it looks good because the Highlanders put their top team out and thrash the bloody wider players, and aren't we great? And then not really, but I still think they might go all right, this team, you know.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
and,
no, it's always good. Yeah, no, it's always good to see the pre-seasons go out to the clubs, and Kirwi, it's going to be the day of the year for them this year when they host that pre-season fixture, and I'm sure they'll get well patronised and well supported.
Oh, Don Hayes, home of Don Hayes, the great Don Hayes, another flanker that should have been an All Black.
I just realised I didn't have the that other crap team ready to go, but I'll have that done in about 2 seconds.
The other team.
No, Wingers.
Yeah.
Rabs is blue. Oh, the Blues.
Yeah, God. Yeah. So who have they got there? Who have they got?
Who have they got? Let's run through them. So we've got Ben Archie, Bowden Barrett trader, Josh Behere, Adrian Choke, Cameron Christie, Finlay Christie, Scottish git, Shay Clark, Caleb Clark, Sam Darry, who's also picked up an injury, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets there. Kurt Eklund from Bay of Plenty, Corey Evans, Cole Forbes, Tofa Funaki, Joshua Fusatua, Mihana Grinley, Rico Ione, AJ Lamb, Jordan Lay, Lachlan McFonnell. Who else we got there? We got James Mullen, Sam Knock, Dalton Papali'i. Now I think he could be in for a big year, Dalton Papali'i, because he's had that injury. He hasn't gone away, so he's having plenty of time to recoup and recover.
He needs to find some form.
Sorry?
He needs to find some form.
Oh, true. And then, of course, you've got Rion Paul, Stephen Perifetta, Harry Plummer, Marcel Renata, Ricky Riccatelli. There's another player that is, what has he done not to be? Because he's actually younger than the two hookers that are in the North at the moment.
You also mentioned two names there that, you know, you've got to seriously consider for the number 10 in the All Blacks, because let's face it, Plummer definitely, and even that Perifetta.
Yeah.
Give them both a shot, because it's not. I mean, I know everyone waxed lyrical about McKenzie this weekend because he kicked those goals, but look at his general play. He's still not tackling. He's still not. Some of his passes are not great. He's dropping the ball, and Bowden Barrett seems to be, well, probably past his prime. I watched Plummer play in that New Zealand 15 team, and he looked the goods.
Yeah.
When they played against Munster, give those guys they've got to give those guys a shot in the end of this tour, I think, just to see, because they need to figure out the future, because I don't think either McKenzie or Barrett is the future. And a lot of people, I'm a Crusaders fan, a lot of people will say, oh, but we'll bring Richie back. But really, what's the point? What's the point of bringing Richie back, You've got to start planning for the future. You've got to start planning for the future. And if Plummer and Perafita are the future, then you need to start playing them.
Yep. And then, as I said, if I just quickly run through those last few names, we've got the German Anton Segner, PJ Scheck, Hoskins Satutu. I thought he was going overseas. Peyton Spencer, Cameron Suafoa, Zahn Sullivan, he should come back to the Hurricanes. Angus Tarvale, Zavi Tarley, who's a under-20 star. Mark Talia, I'm still out. Patrick Tuipulotu there for leadership, and Ofasa Tuangavasi. We're out of going through all these 11 teams in the last 56 minutes. Where is Richard Mwanga?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People keep talking about they're trying to queue that up. That's what I'm saying to you. I forget about it. He had his time when he went overseas. Okay, let's find the future. If McKenzie and Barrett aren't the future, and Barrett's not the future, and McKenzie doesn't look like he's the future, if these guys are the future, you've got to start playing them. I don't care what team they're from. Just let's get them out there on the field against, what is it? Who have we got left? Italy and France. France and Italy. Get them out against those guys and start bloody playing them, because it's not working.
I think they need to find something fast, because players like Anton Dupont, he's gonna be at his brilliant best like he was, and that French winger that scored 2 or 3 tries, who's gonna if Mark Talia's injured, if he's not going to play, well, who's going to mark him? You know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, that's what I'm saying about first 5. Yeah, okay, McKenzie was kicking all right, but really, we've all seen the rest of his play, right? You can all agree that he defensively he's not great, and teams are picking him. The Irish knew it, the English knew it. Run through that channel, I mean, the French. If he gets picked against the French this week, you watch the French. They're going to go straight through that first channel and over the top of him all game.
Yeah. I can see Bowden Barrett starting.
Yeah.
With
apart from his goal
kicking.
Apart from his goal kicking, he had a shocker. He dropped the ball a few times. His wayward passes. He's not the future. Maybe he's the guy. McKenzie maybe is the guy you keep in the squad on the bench. You can use him as a fullback. Use him at first 5 as he comes on, but not as a starter. You've got to find somebody. And that Plummer looked all right. Perafita's looked all right in the past. Why not give them a go? At least against Italy, if not France. They've got to start looking now.
Yeah. I'll be inclined to give Plummer a run against Italy. Perafita, he's played for only a few minutes 1 year. I think it might have been last year or the year before, but I mean, give him a go. I mean, they're either going to blossom or they're going to fail, aren't they?
Yeah, well, that's what got me about Japan. I was surprised they didn't do that when they played Japan. Give one of the future stars a run there instead of doing what they did, because we've got to start looking. And I don't know if this All Black squad. I mean, Rabs knows my theory about. I think there's certain players are contracted, and so they've been told to play them. Because, Mike, from watching the Crusaders, that the way this All Black team is playing and being selected is not the way Scott Robertson played or selected or coached the Crusaders, right? There's something odd there. He's picking players that he wouldn't, or styles of players he wouldn't normally pick. And you can't tell me that someone's not saying, hey, this guy's under contract, he needs to be played, right? I mean, it's not, the first 5 plays not Crusaders style play. The loose plays not, it's just, you know what I'm saying? It's just odd. It's not, for him as head coach, it's not the style of play that you would have expected him to coach after having seen all those years in the Crusaders. You know.
Oh, yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
The other thing is too, you know, I mean, sure, this is where we pick our All Blacks from, Super Rugby and all that sort of stuff. But I mean, again, you've got to look at like the world rankings. You know, we've been doing world rankings at rugbyredefined.com for, you know, many years before it became a thing, and everyone used to give me shit about it. Now everyone's over it and going, wow, you know, yeah, these are the cool things, and we're still beating World Rugby by 24 hours, getting up the rankings, so that's pretty cool. But the thing is, if you look at where South Africa is, okay, they went top of the table without playing a game, right? But now they've won a game and officially, you know, they can take that number one spot. Ireland, you know, they've dropped, what, 3 places or down to 3rd, but they've only actually played one game. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they go against, but where my point's trying to go here is the Aussies are bringing in players from overseas. Africa are bringing their players in from overseas. We've got to look at this next lot of, you know, alumni, as they would say in America, coming through. Are you seeing players there that are coming through that you can see maybe going to be World Cup 2027?
Yep.
That's exactly my point. We've got to start looking for these players now. This is what I mean. You know, I know I've got issues about certain players being selected, but to me, what was the point of picking Sam Cane this year? Absolutely no point, right? He's buggering off. Okay, there was even the likes of Bowden Barrett and McKenzie. They're likely to go overseas again. You know, they basically wasted the first year of Scott Robertson's coaching and building towards the World Cup because they picked these guys. And you know, I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, this was
I agree with you, Brian. Obviously, Geordie Barrett's off the bigger pastures. Sam Cane, well, he's probably coming near the end of his career after. Well, he's obviously out after that big gash in the weekend, so you won't see him seagulling in midfield as you like to say it. But no, you know, obviously, you know, McKenzie and Barrett won't be around forever, so we need to start, you know, finding someone to you know, or players to replace them. You know.
It just seems like a waste. That's what I'm saying. It seems like a waste of a year, and it's not like Scott Robertson when he took over the Crusaders his very first season. He was bringing in those guys for the future, right? He was bringing the guys in and bringing them through. Yeah. There's one or two that he's done that with, like Wallace Satiti and all that, but a lot of it's just same old, and I don't know what's going on. It's just, I don't know. Is he afraid to bring in the Crusaders in case they say, oh, it's just Crusader? I don't know, but to me, it's a waste of a year. There's younger guys he could have had in there. And take the losses. We lost a couple of games anyway. Take the losses with the young guys and give those young guys the experience, right?
You know, obviously another example was Artie Savia.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's not going to be around forever. So maybe Wallace Satiti needs to start getting prepared to take his spot. Oh, I'm not too sure, but that's just what I said.
Yeah, well, I think Artie's had a very quiet whole 2024 myself. Sure, he did all right in the Super Rugby and all that, but to me, even in all the Test matches this year, I found him missing in action.
Where was he? Where was he?
He was there.
Okay. He was the rucks instead of doing the open sider's job, wasn't he? Let's be honest.
Yes. Well, let me answer you. Yes, he was doing a Mr. Kane's job while trying to do his own job.
That's exactly right. You know, the number 8 is supposed to be the loose forward that drifts wide and does all that stuff. But we had a number 7 sitting in midfield, right? Savia was the guy doing all the grunt work in the rucks, and it's just, that's why he went missing.
Yes, and that's my point. Sort of like when he got that turnover against the Irish, everyone went, woohoo! It was like he'd been doing it all game, and it was like the first thing he had a chance to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I did get a private message going, "Are you watching the game?" I went, "Yeah." Oh, Artie's playing, and that was in the 78th minute or something. You know, because it was like, normally you expect these big runs from Artie Savia, but then him moving to Moana Pacifica. I mean, is that going to hinder him? Is it going to help them? I mean,
retirement good.
Yeah, that's all I can think of. But anyhow, that's an hour and 10 minutes, an hour and 5 minutes of going over the Heartland teams. We've lost money on the way, eh, Mike?
Yeah, no, we'll just wait for the trolling cup in about an hour. Yeah, and a quarter.
Yeah, well, as I said, I'm hoping that the TAB reckon if I lost my race, I was going to get my money back. So I'll just have a quick look here and just see if they have. If they have, I might have another punt. Oh yes, I have. I got $10 back because my horse lost. So I only spent $10, so that's all right.
Yeah, well, the Aussies have already taken the Dominion, so let's see if they can take the trotting cup for a second year in a row.
Well, nah, let's hope not, eh? I'm over all these Australians. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Anyhow, I suppose we better knock this whole show on the head. We came a bit late, normally on at 10 o'clock. We may be on again next Tuesday to go over the game against France. Predictions. Northern Hemisphere playing useless rugby at the moment. Are they going to go 0-6 again this weekend?
Who are the French going to put out? Have the clubs released their top players, or are they doing the silly? We're not going to release our players, because that's your problem with France. You never know what team you're going to get.
Oh no, Dupont will be there. It's a bit like that bullshit story they used to say about just give the ball to Jonah. You know.
I'm just trying to think of the France's coaches. Maybe what's France's coach's name?
Isn't it Fabien Galthy?
Yeah, Fabien Galthy or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the front. Well, obviously we've seen what they've done against Japan, and they are not afraid to throw the ball around, and obviously Dupont was at his brilliant best. It'll be interesting to see.
Going to depend on who the All Blacks pick in strategic positions, I think, too, isn't it? Because the French will pick on them.
Yeah.
So
and then Ireland have got Argentina. Wales have got
another team for Gatland to whinge about.
Wales have. Oh shit! Who have Wales got? Australia. So there you go. Wales, Australia. Well, after last week, you have to go Australia, don't you? The English are taking on the Springboks, and how good will that be if the English can go 0-3, eh?
Wow. Well, you got to say the Boks will win that, don't you? I mean, if the All Blacks and the Australians can beat the English, the Boks will do it.
I think the Springboks are actually in the zone at the moment, and obviously things aren't looking too good for the English coach Steve Borthwick at the moment. But while they're probably not looking any good for Warren Gatland either, judging by a little video I've seen of one of his offsiders blowing him up in the coaching box after that Australia game. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see, all right.
And Ireland, Argentina. The thing is about Argentina now is they don't fear anyone now. Now they've beaten the All Blacks, they don't fear anyone, right? And you can see that in their play. They believe. And past Argentines beating the Irish.
Yeah, I think so. I think if we see the Argentinian full pack, and we'll see Carreras out at fly half, doing what he does best, kicking goals and giving his backs quality ball. I think that's going to be a blinder of a game as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. The Argentines, Yeah, they're playing great rugby, and that's why I say they've got that belief now in them that a lot of teams don't have. So they believe they can beat anyone now.
Maybe they should bring Pablo Montero back for another season at the Crusaders. You reckon?
Well, don't know.
I don't know.
But also, because I'm just going to give myself a Yahoo shout out here. Our Rugby Redefined Facebook page got stolen about 4 or 5 years ago. I've been trying to get Facebook to give it back. It's got my cell phone number on it. It's got my website address on it. But they just won't give it back. We had about 40 odd thousand people following us. We've just hit the 15,000 mark on the new page, which is thank you to everyone watching on Rugby Redefined. Because the great beauty about that particular page is we look at other games, and how good was it to see the Ukraine get up over Slovakia by 135 points to 13 in the weekend?
Oh yeah, that's something. Time
for me to dig out my Ukraine shirt. But then
here we go.
Yeah, but then you look at what happened in Portugal though, and Rhodey will be happy with this. I picked Portugal to beat the USA, and the USA have turned a page and won a game.
Well, don't get excited yet, mate.
Yeah.
Well, they're up at. I'm just trying to see who they're up against this weekend. I'm not actually seeing it straight away in my little list. But you got games coming up. So catch up with all the stuff at Rugby Europe. I mean, you can sit back and watch Croatia play Sweden or Poland taking on Lithuania. But the Spanish, they'll be hosting the Fijians. The Fijians will be flying high. I think the Spanish are going to get a lesson. Japan are playing Uruguay. Yeah, well, Japan are playing Uruguay and France. So that'll be an interesting one. It'll be interesting to see how many people are there. And of course, the Arabs are playing the Germans over there in United Arab Emirates. And Hong Kong will be taking on Brazil again. Last weekend, Brazil got their first ever win over a higher nation. And so Brazil Rugby are making great sort of steps forward. The reason I say that is Jason Ryan for the All Blacks did actually spend some time in Brazil teaching their forwards how to ruck. So there you go. USA are playing Tonga, and that's going to be in France. So the way Tonga travel, I'll say that could be a win for the USA Eagles.
Yes, hopefully the Eagles will turn the page, but it's certainly been a long time, put it that way.
And then, of course, lastly, to just close off the show, we have the promotion relegation match for the Six Nations with Italy taking on Georgia.
You'd have to go Italy, wouldn't you?
I don't know.
Surely.
I just know that if England carry on playing, they might have to play in a promotion relegation. How good would that be?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
It'll never happen if England go the way they're going. It'll never happen.
Just a quick shout out to the South Canterbury players that they had their awards night last weekend, and Taco Fakatava cleaned up. Clarence Mouldy got back of the year, which I said to him, you're in for back of the year about 3 weeks ago, so there's a couple of good Waimate boys there, and that haka that they done for Nigel Walsh was pretty moving, to be fair, so yeah, congratulations to all them, and good luck to the Mid-Canterbury boys. They've got their awards night tomorrow night, I believe, so yeah, good luck to them.
So when you say good luck to them, are you saying, I hope you get out of there in one piece, or...
Yeah, it'll be a big night. It'll be a big night for Mid-Canterbury Rugby tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I did see teams had their one the other day, and they had a big night too, looking at what they were drinking on the tables. So anyway,
hey, we won't go there.
I'm not going anywhere. I was just saying they had a great night, and the Meads Cup looked like it was back in full 100% working order. So next
Good.
week we'll end the stream. Get you two guys to stay on until after the outro video, and we'll catch us hopefully next Tuesday. See you all.
Take
See
it
ya.
there.